Hi, my name is Latifa Yupratiwi and my student numbers are 230-1541-116. I am the leader of Group 1 and in this video, our group will be discussing about the royal family and the government of the United Kingdom.
Hello everyone, my name is Sharon Angel Niandi. My student number is 2301-541103.
Hi everyone, my name is Yofinda Nadia Bano with my last 3-digit student number 118.
Hey everyone, my name is Manazira Chikalkesha and my student numbers are 230, 154 and 120 and I'm from Group 1.
Hello, my name is Yuni Horlinda Butar-Butar with my last 3-digit numbers 119.
Hello, my name is Niklan Gadlafa with my student numbers are 2301-54117.
The first question, what is constitutional monarchy and how does it work in the UK? A constitutional monarchy is a system where a king or queen is head of state, but their power is limited by the constitution, by law, or by convention. Unlike an absolute monarchy, the monarch shares power with an elected government. Political scientist Fernand Bogdaner sum it up perfectly. A constitutional monarch is like reigns but doesn't rule. The title and symbolism belong to the monarch, but the real decision-making belongs to elected representatives. Around 40 countries follow this system today, including UK, Japan, and Thailand. And how does it work in the UK? So historically, British monarchs actually had the power to make laws, but over centuries, that power shifted to Parliament. Today, the monarch still performs official duties, but always on the advice of the government, never on personal opinion. They formally appoint the Prime Minister chosen by Parliament, give royal assent to turn bills into law, open each new parliamentary session, and represent the UK abroad. These powers are formal, not political. Real governing power rests with elected Parliament and the Prime Minister. So, a constitutional monarchy is a system where a monarch is the head of the state, but real power belongs to an elected government. In the UK, this balance developed over a century, from an all-powerful crown to a monarchy that reigns but doesn't rule.
How does the Prime Minister lead the government? A Prime Minister is the head of government in a parliamentary system. In the UK, the Prime Minister is the head of government and the leader of His Majesty's government. They are ultimately responsible for government policy and decisions. The Prime Minister leads by setting the government's overall political direction. They establish the government's priorities and decide which issues should receive attention. The Prime Minister also coordinates the work of different government departments, while individual departments are responsible for putting these policies into practice. Other than that, the Prime Minister leads by appointing and coordinating ministers. Ministers are chosen by the Prime Minister and are responsible for their respective departments. By assigning these responsibilities, the Prime Minister can organize the government's work while maintaining a consistent overall direction. Their leadership also involves bringing ministers and colleagues together behind the government's objectives. The Prime Minister also leads the cabinet, which is made up of senior government ministers. The cabinet discusses major issues and government policies. By leading these discussions, the Prime Minister provides a central point for coordinating important decisions. However, the Prime Minister does not govern alone, since decisions involve the collective work of ministers. Finally, the Prime Minister must work with Parliament and maintain the confidence of the House of Commons. The government is also accountable to Parliament through scrutiny and debate. Overall, the Prime Minister leads by setting direction, coordinating ministers, leading cabinet, and working with Parliament within the UK's parliamentary system.
Who is the current Prime Minister of the UK? What are their key policies or main areas of focus? Andy Burnham became UK Prime Minister on 20 July 2026, replacing Sir Keir Starmer. He also became the new leader of the Labour Party, making him the fourth UK Prime Minister in 5 years. Since taking office, his government has announced several policies and outlined its main political priorities, especially giving more powers to local and regional governments or the abolishing. The briefing reviews these announcements before a House of Lords debate on the government's political and legislative plans. Since becoming Prime Minister, Andy Burnham government has shared several key policy goals. His main focus is on lowering the cost of living and providing people with more financial help. He also wants to cancel the government's digital ID program and back some oil and gas drilling in the North Sea. Burnham wants more public control over water and energy, which could mean changing how Thames water is run, but he hasn't fully agreed with making it fully government-owned. Burnham has suggested raising the business rates for warehouses to help pay for tax reduction for pubs and some high street businesses. He has said he will not raise VAT, income tax, or national insurance, but he hasn't ruled out the possibility of introducing a wealth tax. Another big focus is devolution, which means giving more control to local councils and tourism areas like housing and transport. The building of Number 10 North in Manchester also shows his goal to take decision-making out of London and give more power to the regions in government.
Next question is, how do the royal family's public duties affect the UK? So, the British royal family plays an important role in the United Kingdom, not only as the symbol of tradition, but also through their public duties. First, the royal family helps strengthen national identity and unity. Members of the royal family attend ceremonies, celebrations, and important events. During difficult moments, they can also represent the nation and provide a sense of stability and continuity. Second, their public duties support charities and communities. Members of the royal family work with hundreds of charities and organizations. They visit communities, raise awareness of social issues, and encourage people to participate in voluntary and charitable activities. The royal family contributes to diplomacy and international relations. During overseas visits, they represent Britain and meet foreign leaders and communities. This visit can help strengthen the UK's diplomatic and economic relationships with other countries. Their activities can also influence tourism and the economy. Royal palaces, ceremonies, and the Britain's royal heritage attract visitors from around the world. In 2024, tourism contributed around £147 billion to the UK economy and supported about 2.4 million jobs. Overall, through national representation, charity work, diplomacy, and tourism, the royal family continues to have a visible impact on the British society and the UK's international image.
Why does the United Kingdom still keep its monarchy in the 21st century? The answer is that the British monarchy has adapted to modern society. Unlike in the past, the king no longer directly rules the country. Political power belongs to the parliament and the elected government, while the monarch mainly serves a symbolic, ceremonial, and constitutional role. This also allows the king to remain politically neutral, representing the country without representing a political party. The monarchy also represents British history, tradition, continuity, and national identity. Events like coronations, jubilees, and royal funerals create moments of shared national experience and allow people to connect with something beyond everyday politics. Another important reason is public acceptance. According to Ipsos in March 2026, 55% of Britons preferred keeping the monarchy, compared with 27% who preferred a republic. However, younger generations are becoming more skeptical. Among 18 to 34-year-olds, 45% preferred a republic, compared with only 33% who preferred a monarchy. So, the monarchy survives not because everyone strongly supports it, but because there is still no overall majority demanding its abolition. The royal family also has cultural and international influence, attracting global media attention, tourism, and diplomatic interest. At the same time, abolishing the monarchy would require constitutional changes, because the crown is deeply connected to Britain's political system. However, the monarchy faces growing challenges, including financial costs, royal scandals, colonial history, and criticism of hereditary privilege. Ultimately, the monarchy survives because it has changed from the king rules Britain to the king represents Britain. Its future, however, depends on whether the symbolic role can remain relevant to a younger and increasingly critical British society.
The last question is, in your opinion, should the monarchy be abolished? Explain your reasons. In our opinion, the British monarchy should be abolished. Although the monarchy represents British history, tradition, and national identity, we believe these cultural values can still be preserved without having a hereditary head of state. First, the monarchy conflicts with the ideas of democracy and equality. The king holds his position because he was born into the royal family, not because the British people elected him. In a democratic society, we believe everyone should have an equal opportunity to participate in government. Being born into a certain family should not automatically give someone a position of national importance. Second, the monarchy lacks direct accountability. Unlike elected officials, the monarch cannot be removed by voters if people disagree with their performance. An elected head of state could have a limited and politically neutral role while still being accountable to the public and parliament. Some people argue that abolishing the monarchy would mean losing important British traditions. However, we disagree. Royal ceremonies, palaces, and other historical traditions could still be preserved as part of Britain's cultural heritage. Abolishing the monarchy does not mean erasing British history. Finally, Britain could replace the monarchy with an elected head of state while keeping the prime minister and parliament. The president could represent the country and help protect democratic rules without directly running the government. Overall, we believe Britain can respect its history while moving towards a system based on equality, accountability, and democracy.
In conclusion, the royal family and the government of the United Kingdom have distinct roles within the British political system. The monarch serves as the head of the state, while the prime minister leads the government by setting its political direction, coordinating ministers, and leading the cabinet. At the same time, the prime minister remains accountable to parliament and maintains a formal relationship with the monarch by advising the king on government affairs. Therefore, the British system combines the ceremonial role of the monarchy with the political leadership of the elected government.